Hello, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to see few theory questions which were asked on the refrigeration cycles. Very first question is, this question was asked in GATE 2015 for 1 mark in set 3. The question is, the thermodynamic cycle shown in figure PS diagram indicates. Here on y-axis temperature is given and on x-axis entropy is given. And which is this diagram? The question is, which diagram is this? Right. Now my dear students, the very first process you can see 1 to 2 is vertical line, means it is isentropic, and as the temperature is increasing it is compression. Therefore here very first process is isentropic compression. We can say isentropic compression, right? Compression. Now second process you can see here 2 to 3. Here temperature as well as entropy is decreasing at constant pressure. Therefore it is constant pressure heat rejection. It is constant pressure heat rejection as temperature and both entropy are decreasing. Then 3 to 4. Again it is a vertical line, means it is isentropic, and as temperature is decreasing it is expansion. Therefore 3 to 4 is isentropic. We can say isentropic expansion, right? And very last process 4 to 1. Here both temperature as well as entropy is increasing at constant pressure. Therefore it is constant pressure heat supply. Constant pressure heat supply. And my dear students, this cycle is going in anti-clockwise direction. As this is an anti-clockwise direction, therefore it is a refrigeration cycle. All refrigeration cycles are work consuming cycles, and work consuming cycles are always moving in anti-clockwise direction. And here the heat supply and heat rejection is at constant pressure, and the compression and expansion are reversible adiabatic, that is isentropic. Therefore this is a reverse Brayton cycle. The cycle is also called reverse Brayton cycle. Therefore here option B is correct choice. Also called, this cycle is also called Bell-Coleman cycle. The reverse Brayton cycle is also called, we can say, Bell-Coleman cycle. Therefore the cycle is also called Bell-Coleman cycle or reverse Brayton cycle. The next question was asked in GATE 1997 for 2 marks. The question is here, clearance volume of a reciprocating compressor is 100 ml and the volume of cylinder at bottom dead center is 1 liter. The clearance ratio of the compressor is. Now my dear students, here clearance volume BC is given 100 ml, right? And volume at BDC is given 1 liter. And what is clearance ratio? Clearance ratio is nothing but clearance volume divided by stripped volume. Let us draw the diagram. Here there is a reciprocating compressor, therefore there will be a cylinder, and in this cylinder there will be one top dead center, is the top dead center, and there will be one bottom dead center, is the bottom dead center. And between this top dead center and bottom dead center only the piston is reciprocating, right? Let us say the piston is now at bottom dead center, right? This piston is reciprocating between top dead center and bottom dead center only. Now here at top dead center the volume is called clearance volume. At top dead center the volume is called clearance volume VC. And my dear students, the between top dead center and bottom dead center the volume is swept volume. Between top dead center and bottom dead center the volume is called swept volume, and they have provided volume at the bottom dead center, means it is VC plus VS, right? Therefore they have given VC clearance volume plus swept volume is equal to 1 liter. Now 1 liter is nothing but, we can say, 1000 ml, right? Therefore my dear students, here VC is 1000 ml, sorry 100 ml, and VC plus VS is 1000 ml. Therefore we can say swept volume is equal to 1000 minus 100, which is nothing but, we can say, 900 ml. Therefore here swept volume is 900 ml. And my dear students, the clearance ratio, which is nothing but ratio of clearance volume to the swept volume, is nothing but clearance volume is 100 ml divided by swept volume is 900 ml, will be equal to 1 by 9. Therefore look at the options. If you look at the options, option C you will find the best choice. Therefore option C is 1 by 9 is the correct choice. Therefore if you select option C you will get full mark. The next question was asked in GATE 2004 for 1 mark. The question is, in a window air conditioning, the the expansion device used is. Now my dear students, in window air conditioning the expansion device used is capillary tube. Capillary tube is one of the device where expansion is done and cooling effect will produce, right? Therefore here capillary tube is used. Now, my dear students, during summer days, if you think about summer days, right, you start sweating if you do workout or if you do walking, then in summer days you start sweating. And my dear students, in our body, there are very small capillary tubes through which the liquid particles are coming out, and the process is called capillary expansion, right? Capillary tube expansion. And because of this, we are getting refrigeration effect for the body. That means to maintain the temperature of human body in summer, during summer days, there are very small capillary tubes in our body through which the water particles are coming out, and the process is called sweating, right? And because by this process only the human body temperature is maintained at 37 degrees Celsius. Now the next question was asked in GATE 1993 for 2 marks. The question is, round the clock cooling of an apartment having a load of 300 megajoule per day requires the air conditioning plant of capacity about. Here, that means this 300 megajoule per day, this must be the capacity. Now the same capacity we have to convert into ton. Right here, all the options are given in ton. So same capacity we have to convert into ton. That means we have to obtain the net refrigerating effect is equal to 300 megajoule per day. Let us convert into kilojoule per second. Right. If I want to convert into kilojoule, then I have to multiply with 10 to the power 3. Then it will become kilojoule. Now, this day, in one day, there are 24 hours. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. And in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. Therefore, it is kilojoule per second. This value will be in kilojoule per second. Therefore, this net refrigerating effect, if you calculate, you will find this answer is equal to 3.47 kilowatt. Kilojoule per second is kilowatt. Therefore, my dear students, we know that 1 ton of refrigeration is nothing but equal to 3.517 kilowatt. Right. Therefore, now here, if net refrigerating effect is 1 ton of refrigeration, then in kilowatt it will be having value 3.517 kilowatt. Then what will be the ton of refrigeration? X ton of refrigeration if net refrigerating effect is 3.47 kilowatt. So here we have to do cross multiplication. This 3.47 will multiply with 1, and this x will multiply with 3.517, and they will be equal, right? Therefore, cross multiplication is 1 into 3.47 is equal to x into 3.517. If I calculate this x value, then I will get x is equal to 0.99, which is approximately equal to again 1 ton of refrigeration. Therefore, here ton of refrigeration will be 1 ton, right? 1 ton. Therefore, option A is correct choice. The next question was asked in GATE 2000, and it was asked for 1 mark. Now the question is, in a vapor compression refrigeration system, liquids to the suction heat exchanger is used to. Now my dear students, for this question, your answer is subcool the liquid refrigerant leaving the condenser. In theory, we have seen this part. Let us observe here vapor compression refrigeration cycle on temperature versus entropy diagram. Here they are saying that it is a vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Let us say there is a temperature versus entropy diagram. Now on this TS diagram, very first process is reversible adiabatic compression, and the compression starts at dry saturated vapor state from 1 to 2 isentropy compression. That is, entropy is constant and there will be a compression. Right. 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat rejection in the condenser. Now 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat rejection in condenser, and the end of condenser is always saturated liquid state. Now 3 to 4 is throttling. 3 to 4 will be throttling. That is isenthalpic process. And 4 to 1 is evaporation. That is, in evaporator from 4 to 1 at constant pressure heat is absorbed and where net refrigerating effect is obtained. Right. And my dear students, here the net refrigerating effect is nothing but H1 minus H4, that is load of evaporator, and work of compressor is nothing but H2 minus H1, because 1 to 2 is compression process, and the COP, coefficient of performance, is nothing but net refrigerating effect divided by work of compressor, which is nothing but we can say H1 minus H4 divided by H2 minus H1. Now our target is to increase this net refrigerating effect or increase this COP, coefficient of performance. Now, now if subcool the liquid refrigerant leaving the condenser, means during subcooling the liquid refrigerant leaving the condenser, we are decreasing its temperature below saturation temperature at constant pressure. Therefore, the process 3 to 3 dash will be like this. 3 to 3 dash will be like this. Means 3 to 3 dash is a constant pressure process, and where we are subcooling the liquid below its saturation temperature. At 3 temperature is saturation temperature. Now 3 dash to 4 dash we will go like this. 3 dash to 4 dash will be like this, and 4 dash to 1 there will be a 4 dash to 1 again. Right. Now my dear students, due to this subcooling, what is happening? See now, net refrigerating effect now is nothing but H1 minus H4 dash, right? New, because of this subcooling, the new refrigerating effect is H1 minus H4 dash, which is increasing. We can say this is increasing. And work of compressor again H2 minus H1, which is constant. Which is constant. Therefore, we can say COP, which is nothing but net refrigerating effect divided by work of compressor. As net refrigerating effect is increasing and work of compressor is constant, therefore coefficient of performance is increasing. Therefore, my dear students, here liquid to suction heat exchanger is used to subcool the liquid refrigerant leaving the condenser. Now the next question was asked in GATE 1992. The question is, the condenser of refrigeration system rejects heat at the rate of 120 kilowatt while the compressor consumes a power of 30 kilowatt. The COP of the system would be. Now here, let us assume the refrigeration system between the higher temperature reservoir, let us say higher temperature which is constant, and there is again lower temperature reservoir, lower temperature is constant, and here lower temperature is nothing but refrigeration space. It is the refrigerated space from which we need to remove the heat for refrigeration. And if I use here refrigerator, the purpose of this refrigerator is to extract heat from the low temperature reservoir, that is from the refrigerated space, which is nothing but let us say Q2. It is also called net refrigerating effect, and continuously supply to the high temperature reservoir. Let us say it is a Q1, and this heat rejected from the refrigerator is nothing but condenser load. Therefore, here the Q1 is given, which is nothing but 120 kilowatt. Here Q1 is given 120 kilowatt, right? Because they have mentioned that the condenser of refrigeration system rejects heat at the rate of 120 kilowatt. Therefore, heat rejected from the refrigerator is Q1. Therefore, it is 120 kilowatt. And this refrigerator is continuously consume work of compressor. Therefore, there will be a work of compressor, which is nothing but here 30 kilowatt is given in the question. Work of, it consumes power of 30 kilowatt, means it is a W net work consumed by the refrigerator. And my dear students, the coefficient of performance of this refrigerator is nothing but net refrigerating effect divided by work of compressor. Therefore, it is nothing but Q2 divided by W of compressor, work of compressor. So my dear students, first of all, we have to calculate Q2. Now apply here first law. As per first law, whatever energy entering into the refrigerator must be equal to energy leaving the refrigerator. Therefore, energy entering is Q2 plus work of compressor is equal to energy leaving is Q1. Therefore, Q2 is equal to Q1 minus work of compressor, which is nothing but Q1 is 120 minus work of compressor is 30, which is nothing but 90. Therefore, it is 90 kilowatt, which is net refrigerating effect. Therefore, coefficient of performance of refrigerator is equal to net refrigerating effect divided by work of compressor, which is nothing but 90 divided by 30, which is nothing but 3. Therefore, answer for this question is 3. Thank you, dear students. In next lecture, we will see one more numerical on this topic.